Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the thing show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One, and tonight we're going to start a series. We're going to look at the areas of human activities and where the so-called African American fits into this. Because remember, as we say, the African American is not created by nature. The African American is created by man. And we're trying to make this simple. It's right in your face. We got to understand this. This isn't nothing to argue or get mad about. It's just about understanding and letting you see things a certain way, how things are being done to a certain group of people, how they're being manipulated and how they're being used to further another man's agenda. Okay? So we want to look at the areas of human activity. And when you look at the areas of human activity, one of the, where the African American is not even in the picture, because they choose to put themselves out of the picture, is that of thinking. Thinking. It's a simple process. And in the African American community, the African American is trained not to think about anything. And you can normally pick this up when you're having a conversation with one of them. What I would suggest what one of you do is get a person who's 50, because I'll say in the African American community, when you're 100 years old, we'll take 100 as a standard bearer. Because a lot of people live to be 100, over 100. But most people don't even make it to 20. And this is because normally the African American doesn't think. He or she is told what to do. And when they're told what to do, they do it. This isn't to put anybody down. This isn't to mock anything. This is to make change. Because if you don't change, if you stay the same way that you've always been, you're going to get what you always get. And one of the things the African American doesn't do is think so he can change his position on the planet. So what is thinking? What is it? Since we never hardly do it. I'm talking about as a nation of people. This isn't an indictment on one person. This isn't an indictment on one group, because a lot of people think. We're talking about the majority, 50.1%. See, if it was more than half of us thinking, I wouldn't be here. But we're not into it. So this is not for the people who are above 39. This is for the people who are under the age of 39, especially the people who are below the age of 9. Because your mama, daddy, grandmama, granddaddy, the majority don't think at all. And this is why you see the problems we're having and how other people from other nations come over and take advantage of that, because they're taught that when they're young, and they see they have a nation of people who be like, I ain't got to think, fuck you, nigga. I can be me. They know that they can take advantage of that. And what the African American does is always get mad and all kind of stupid shit, but this is what they believe in. This is what they do. This is what they're trained to do. But when you bring it out to them, they know it's stupid, but they get mad and frustrated. So this is to cut all that out and to show you, dude, just think about it. And I want to share something with you that was shared with me a couple of months ago, about a month ago. And this is and when you learn stuff, you got to be around people who think. You got to be around people who don't want to be in the same place. You have African Americans still calling themselves slaves, which makes them slaves. This is 2020. We harbor on to that feeling and that sentiment. We're into it. We love it. So this is to show you how to think and just figure simple stuff out so you can coast on like an ant, like any other natural phenomenon on this planet. Because the African American is not made by nature. The African American is made by man. Anybody that want to dispute that fact, come with it. You better bring your shit, because it's only going to take a couple of words. Your great grandmama wasn't no damn African American. Frederick Douglass wasn't no African American. Come on, y'all. And we stay stuck in these ideologies, and that's the main reason why what's happening is happening. So what is thinking? Thinking is the process of using one's mind to consider something. You just don't jump out and do stuff because your feelings, you feel like it. Come on, you got to think about it. You think about it. By the time you're 30 years old, brothers, the strip club should be a done deal for you. It shouldn't be even up in the first place, but since we're we put ourselves in a position to make it to where we will monetize our young women. Ain't that how we do? We make it rain. If you're 30 and still doing that, you're a loser. If you're 30 years old and still passing ass pics online, you're a loser. Really, if you're 10, but when you're 30 and you're still doing that, you're a loser. Come on, don't be mad because you showing that you're a loser. Change. That's all you got to do. And this is what the African American doesn't do. They don't want to change. They stay stuck in these ideologies and they never grow. And here's an example of what I mean about using one's mind to consider something. Everybody has to ask themselves, why am I here? Why am I here? We don't ask that about ourselves. We don't give a shit about ourselves enough to ask, what purpose do you serve? Why are you here at this time? Why did you come to this place at this certain time? You should know by the time you're 10. By the time you're 10, you should know why you're here. Because you're just filling this avatar called a body. The real you lives inside your body. We don't even talk about that. We don't even discuss that. Why? And we're going to get into that in a minute. Most people remain stuck and frustrated because the ability to think was grafted out of them at an early age. And what is meant by grafted out is normally the growth of a person and their thoughts grow together. Had an interesting conversation with a sister I knew over 30 years ago. Cold conversation. And about 30 years ago, I wanted to get with her. It's beautiful, I thought. But she never would give me the time of day. So we met on social media, and she was telling me, about her life and stuff. And I told her, you never gave me the time of day. And she's told me something that was cold. But I was like, damn. She said, I know you want to get with me, but I didn't get with you because I was a hoe. I was like, what? She said, I was fucking everybody. And I know you wasn't that type of dude, so I didn't want to, because I was having diseases, I was in fights, I was just living that lifestyle. And it was cool because she was honest about it. This is what I mean by growth, by thinking. You saw her today, you wouldn't even think that. But she had to learn. We all have to learn. We all have to think about what we're doing. If it's not good for us, why keep doing it? If it keeps causing misery, why do it? And so when you see the African American, why is it that they never do nothing that is better for them? You just had a guy, John Lewis, died, and most of the grassroots people I talk to, they say, good riddance, fucker. Now you have all the civil rights people. Oh, he was great. And most of the grassroots people say he was an asshole. I always go with the grassroots people. When what normally happens in the so-called African American community, and this has been going on for a long time, our thoughts and ideas are given to us by other people. And since we call ourselves Black, which means nothing, no, the word Black actually means nothing. So when we chant out that Black, 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 Black power means no power. How don't we understand this? How don't we know that Black in this vein never wins? Never. Black always loses. Besides, you show me a person that's Black, I'll give you $1,000. I don't want to mean what the esoteric, all that bullshit. You're not Black. So why do you continue to call yourself that? Why do you continue to call your kids that? Why do you continue to call your mama that? Why do you continue to call your daddy that? Your grandmama, you calling them nothing. And remember, words are power. I can say, bitch, I love you. The woman's gonna take a different tone to, baby, you know I love you. I'm sorry, I love you. You are the greatest thing that ever happened to me. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Instead of barking these ideas and words we learn at each other, we don't even think about what we're doing. Normally the African American gets these thoughts and ideologies when they're young, and they go through their whole lives never changing. They'll learn something. I'm gonna give an example before we go. I'm always give an example of what I'm saying so it can make sense, because I'm not just talking off the top of my head. Trust me, I studied this. We'll get an ideology when we're 5 years old, and we'll die at 100 with the same ideology. We haven't grown at all. That's 90 years wasted. Imagine the energy that you expend in 90 years. Financial energy, spiritual energy, physical energy. Imagine what you give away because you can't grow. You stay stuck on an ideology that was fed to you by somebody who wants to use you. See, the African American they're fuzzy. They feel good about that. And then get pissed off with people who bring you information. You had a cat named Bobby Hemmett. I would check him out if I was you. And the reason I would check out Bobby Hemmett simply is because this cat read. He read certain stuff. Now, was it the stuff for us? No, but he read and could figure out things and share with us stuff so we would, he served a purpose. Check that brother out. You got to read what people are writing. You just can't sit in front of a TV and have somebody that's a script, a comedian tell you stuff. That's not how it works. We there now. What? Over 50% of African Americans are there now. And I say at least 50% of us should be growing food for the rest of us. Are we there yet? No, we don't believe in that. We believe that these stores are going to be open for us and feed us. We really believe that. Instead of producing for self, we're not taught that. We don't think that. We cool with what we get now. So from 5 years old, so on this riff right here, we're going to take Christianity. So you learn Christianity when you're 5 years old. You go to church, you baptize, y'all know how it goes. You 90 years old, you still believe what you were taught when you were 5. Have not once read the Bible in 90 years. Haven't read it at all. All they do is listen to where the place they go take their money every Sunday. Listen to what that person says, and that's how they live their lives. This is how the African American is trained. They don't even read the Bible. If they read the first page, they wouldn't even go to church no more. The first page. Why? Because your people said that Christianity is the dumbest shit they've ever heard of. I know we don't know about it because we don't know ourselves. We don't read our stories. We don't, what our people said and passed down. We're not into that. We're always into what other people say. So like the Nation of Islam, they're not into any ideologies from over here. They get their ideologies from Pakistan. Hello? This is what we do. And we know this and we'll keep doing it. I talk to brothers all the time. They cannot get past of what they've been told. Why? Because they never, ever think. They never, what is this? How is this working? You got Apple Computer that's only been out, 30 years? And they're multi-trillion-dollar empires. What is the Nation of Islam? What are the Moors? What are these ideologies that we pick up and we can't let go? We'll run it in. We'll sacrifice 1 million people to keep holding on to that belief in this bullshit that we learn. So thinking, stop, think, sit down. I mean, you know about meditation. I mean, everything is in front of your face. There's been people out here who's given their lives to make sure that we don't remain dumb. There's people who have given their lives in the public school system to make sure that we don't remain dumb. Now, most people in the school system, that's their job, to make sure we remain dumb. Make sure we don't grow. You got to grow. I mean, that's why you're here. But we think we can learn something and keep repeating it over and over and over and over. When it don't work, you ask your kids. I know people who put curses on their kids because their kids won't go to church. I know people who will curse their children because they won't go to church. So the example I want to give you, about how we stay so fucked up. We can't change our minds. I mean, if you can't change your mind, damn. So I want to talk to, and so, I like to answer the chat. So this dude was what was done to us inalienably human. What was done to us is especially treacherous because they hid our history and told us a bunch of lies. This is conquering on a whole new level. So this is what I mean about thinking about stuff. And this isn't to, shame inalienably human, inalienably human. This isn't to shame nothing. This is to show you, this is what I meant. This is what I mean by thinking. What was done to you was done by you. See, we got to get out that, I'm a victim, somebody came and did something to me. No, we're in this position because we put ourselves in the position. Right? How do other men from other places come into your home and take your shit without you being in on it? See, that's something brothers never want to talk about. Brothers never want to talk about that. How did other men come over into your country and make you make slaves of your women? In the chat room, I want somebody to answer that. Come on. How did that happen? How did men from other places come and make you sell them your women? Because that's what your ass did. What technique, what did he tell you to make you do that? Did he tell you you can pump his woman in the ass, you can have threesomes with her, you can beat her ass, you can do whatever? What was told to you to make you do that? Huh? I mean, well, come on. No, researching, that's been done. You are in a place now where motherfuckers from other countries can come tell you to put a mask on your face, and you do it. And the Negro is the mask police, right or wrong. You try to be everybody but yourself. It ain't gonna work out. It haven't worked. It's not working now. It will not work. You have to be you. Who are you? Who are you? Where are you to know? How come you don't know nothing? You never know nothing. So I want to share with you, because this is not a long one. This is just to make you think. I mean, ponder, ask questions, realize that the shit is stupid. I want to share something with you. And this was shared with me. This was shared with me about a month ago. Sister Lisa Cypress from the Acamax shared this. And this is what I mean. We're not learning. We don't learn. And we stay stuck. And we never go nowhere because we won't learn. We refuse to learn. We call ourselves all these scholars, research, and dumb as hell. This is something that sister shared with me a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago. And I'm like, how brothers don't know this? We call ourselves Scott. This is why other people dog us like they do. We talk dumb shit, and then what we do and what we talk are two totally different things. Now, you have all these brothers running around here talking about whatever. Nothing really. Because remember, the so-called African American man, he was grafted. Everything he knows, his master has taught them, right or wrong. This is why we haven't gone nowhere. This is why we can't go nowhere if we don't sit and start thinking about what the hell is going on. So this is to share the book, The History of Travel into Virginia, British West Indies book. And she pulled this up because she goes searching for her family, and she runs across stuff that was written in Virginia because that's the first colony here. She pulls up stuff that was written in the Virginia colonies that is mind-blowing. So this is what they're talking about, the Negro here. And so one of the things, what you notice is you're not speaking English, you're speaking American English. So some of your verbiage, some of your ways of talking is in the language. We got to pick this up because you can see in some of these places, their hair, they spell hair Hayre. This is how they spell. This is how, and if you go through the time that was written back there, you'll see that most of the words are spelled crazy. That's the way they spelled back then. What happened? They bought their language and it mixed with yours, creating American English. How come we don't know this? Why are our 5-year-olds knowing this so they can, grow into something other than what they're growing into now? But I just wanted to share this point with you to show how we always stuck and we can't get out of it. Their hair is black, gross, long, and thick. The men have no beards. Their noses are broad, flat, and notice how flat is spelled F-L-A-T-T, and full at the end. They have big lips. Let's see how lips are spelled, L-I-P-P-E-S. And wide mouths, yet nothing so unsightly as the Moors. So when a brother come to me talking that Moor shit, what do you think that I know that? What do you think I'm thinking when he's talking? What do you think they say when I send them this? I got brothers that will fight me down, arguing. Why are they talking about you over here? They're telling you about some people they met on the other side of the world. You want to be them. We don't think about that. That's not shit that runs through our minds. And this is damn near every ideology that we have. We don't read. We don't study nature. We're not in nature no more. We hate nature, which is going to be the downfall for the Negro. You can't trade ideas. You won't think. This is why thinking is important, y'all. So you see how we get caught in ideologies, waste billions of dollars, fuck up millions of children's minds for some bullshit that we can't even get past. This where the African American is. So listen, peace to all you guys. Thank you for staying up late with me. We'll see you next time. Peace.